Have you heard about this whole $100 million Joe Rogan Spotify podcasting deal? Have you been wondering what this all means and how can you use this to empower yourself? There have been a couple people who have made videos online about this, and I thought, well, why not include myself in that party? So let's discuss. Hey, what's going on? This is Jordan Taylor here from STARTA.ca, where we focus on helping to empower young business-minded entrepreneurs to build or grow their brand or business using mostly online tools. But today I kind of wanted to talk about this whole Joe Rogan $100 million podcasting deal. I follow a content creator named Graham Cochran, and I saw that he made a video about this, and it kind of inspired me to want to talk about it because I was leaving a comment on the channel and I was finding myself having a lot to say about it, so I thought, well, why don't I make another episode talking about it? And I think moreover than getting into the details of the $100 million Joe Rogan Spotify deal, which if I can find an article about it, I will leave it down in the link below or in the description box below or in the show notes if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Spotify. But I just wanted to talk about the power of being a content creator in this new day and age that we're in right now. So if we look at kind of the past, before, who were the big, key players in the world? Like, who was the group of people who were having the most success? It was people with old money, as you may have heard it called before, or generational wealth, but also celebrities. And celebrities a lot of them were from, TV, movies, things like that, and I guess maybe even in the fashion world. And those people are still key players now, of course, but you're hearing a lot more about content creators. Liza Koshy is a primary example. This is someone who is a content creator. She's on YouTube, and she has now broken into the mainstream media world, and now she's covering large fashion events, and she's interviewing people, and she's rubbing heads with people like Obama and Will Smith, who I'm going to talk about after as well too. And it's just showing that the power of having a huge audience is going to put people in a whole other category of people. So one, having that audience makes you marketable, for one. And two, when you have an audience on an emerging platform that is very, 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 very current, so social media, YouTube, a podcast, these are very current forms of media. Being a movie star or being a celebrity is great, but it takes you longer to actually reach those people. Prime example, let's go back to the Will Smith example. Will Smith is somebody who he was a huge star on TV, then he became a huge movie star. He was also a huge star in the music industry as well. And he kind of navigated all those different industries. And now it could be, because he's a little bit older, but also he is smart enough to realize that there is huge power and potential in the world of digital content. For those of you who follow Will Smith, he does a lot of content on his YouTube, on his Instagram, and he's made a shift where where a vast majority of his content is coming from. This is going to be super beneficial for him for a number of reasons. One, he's an established person with an established fan base. So he's already legs ahead of some of us other content creators in that he's already coming with a loyal fan base from another industry that's pretty closely related to digital content. So that's a key helper, but also he's able to reach that fan base as well as newer audience members. He's able to reach them in a much faster way. To star in a movie and then be able to connect with people, that's a process that sometimes takes years to come to fruition, right? A lot of these movies, they're shot or filmed, in year one, and then they're in post-production for another year, and then it's not until year 3 or 4 where do we actually see the finished product or get to go watch it in theaters or be able to, see that celebrity on our favorite talk show or whatever the case is. Whereas creating digital content sometimes can be almost instant, right? With live broadcasts and everything else. And it's got a little bit more of a personal touch to it. For example, if I was Will Smith, I could hop on my Instagram live and be talking to people right now, and they could be responding, giving me feedback on my content immediately. And I can use that to then make better content. And because I have a platform, I can monetize that platform. And then we could go off on a whole tangent about monetizing platforms, but let's stick to the content creation. So now someone like Will Smith can create on a digital content platform like a YouTube or an Instagram, and be able to not only bring his fan base, but also utilize people who are skilled in the digital content space to be able to create a scalable content creation model that is going to keep him a relevant person in the new digital era. We're seeing more and more celebrities do this kind of thing. Kevin James is another person who does this. He's been making a lot more videos on his YouTube channel. It's going to be faster for you to pump out content using one of the digital content platforms. It's a lot faster to create and produce a YouTube video or a podcast episode than it would be for you to create a TV show or a movie. So again, we see this from people like Will Smith. We see this from people like Kevin James, right? We're seeing that now, given the current time that we're all in with everything that's going on in the world with health crises and everything else, we're seeing even our favorite talk shows move to, doing this content out of their home, and they're actually probably able to get this done a little bit faster. And then coming back to Joe Rogan, someone who started out in the traditional media, right, with TV, back when he was on Fear Factor and everything else. Now he's moved to the digital content space where he's creating a podcast, where we've seen this on YouTube, and he has this available on all the other places where he has his podcast. And now with this whole $100 million Spotify deal, it's just taking him to a whole other level of being able to create content and still thrive in the new digital era. But I just think this really drives home the fact that content creators are really going to be the next celebrities. And I don't necessarily mean in the vain sense of celebrities as in people who are celebrated, but I mean like they're going to be the new class of people who are in kind of that upper stratosphere kind of situation, in that they are the people who are going to be the most rich and the most famous, because we're moving slightly away from traditional media and moving more into new modern digital media. So as much as people joke about, everybody and their grandmother having a podcast, a YouTube channel, an Instagram, whatever, if you are someone who wants to create any type of content or media, the new era, you need to be on this, because this is where the world is going, and monetizing it is part of that. But like I said, we could go on and on about monetizing digital content. We could go on and on about that. But I just really wanted to quickly talk about how powerful it's going to be for people to move towards creating digital content, whether it's a podcast, a YouTube channel, an Instagram, a blog, whatever. And I've been creating on and off, mind you, but I've been creating digital content on and off for the last 10 or so years. And it's taken me a while, but now I'm kind of at a point where I can kind of figure out a system to be able to create regularly in a way that's efficient, and then be able to lead that back to a place where I can monetize it. So I wanted to kind of share something with you so that you can kind of get to the point of just being able to create. You can worry about the monetization stuff as kind of this next step, but just in how can I create in a way that's sustainable and not just create, I'm going to make one piece of content or 2, 3, 4 pieces of content and then get stuck. Because that's a whole other side of it, is being able to create consistently in order to be able to build that audience, so then maybe one day you'll get your own $100 million Spotify deal. So if you want to learn how you can create consistent content on a regular basis, I'm going to leave a link down below where you can actually download a free, 100% free PDF guide. It's only 3 steps. It's not super complicated. It's not overly intricate. It's a very simple 3-step process that I have worked out over the course of the last 10 years, and you can go and download it right now. Just tell me where to email it to, and I will email it to you, and you can start creating content almost instantly, because that is the world that we're in now. So be sure to check it out down below, or if you're listening to this podcast audio only, then go to starta.ca and you will be able to download the file right there. Anywho, that's my little rant for today. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below, or leave a comment on my Instagram at Starta Canada, or send me an email at jordan@starta.ca. Let me know what you think about this whole $100 million deal and content creation in general. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next episode. Cheers.